everybody, and welcome to Destiny Digest episode 96. We're on 96 now. That's insane to me. Welcome to episode 96. My name's Dan Finity. On the panel tonight, we have our co-hosts, Bonafide Hero. How are you doing tonight?
Hello, guys. Yeah, good.
Good. Sammy Cat is joining us.
Hi. Hello, guys.
Hey, buddy. Good to have you. And also joining us, we have Dr. Goku, we have Joe, and we have Nate Fu from Guardians Mental Health. Welcome in, guys. How are you feeling tonight?
Hello. What's going on? Doing good. How about you guys?
Doing okay.
Yeah.
If Mother
Having
Nature
a good
would,
afternoon.
That's good.
if Mother Nature would stop with the second
Oh,
and
you
third
stop
winter,
it.
I'd be happy.
Brother, it's like the flood down here. The past 4 days, it's been raining in Indiana, and it's it's just flooding all over the place, even in downtown Indy. So it's not been fun.
We're gonna have snow tonight.
Global warming.
It really
folks.
sucked for you to hear before that Tiddly said it was such a lovely day and she was going out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm sure it's
It
lovely
is.
where Nate is.
Yep,
It's lovely here.
Laughing in California right now,
Yep.
but we can't figure out if we want to do summer yet. It's like winter, then 3 days of summer, and then we'll go back to winter.
See, up in Canada, we have this structure of seasons. We go from winter, fall, spring, second winter,
Mm-hmm.
and then we go into spring-ish.
Yeah, but aren't your winters minus 40 or something like that?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, no, I'd like to keep my toes. I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, welcome in, and we're so glad to have you guys, especially during this week in which a huge collaboration was announced between Guardians Mental Health and the Bungie Foundation. So we kind of want to see. I think the first question that should be asked here is: so Guardians Mental Health, how did it get started, and what is your mission? Joe? Why don't you start?
Sure. Guardians Mental Health actually started and originated from the Destiny community. Way back when we were all LFG, Kingsfall, and D1. And it came together by just a group of us wanting to make a difference in not just the community, but the gaming space. And it started out with doing check-ins with one another. Because after building up and growing these relationships with people we've never met before. I mean, a lot of us can relate with going into LFGs and Destiny communities, communities, and just playing with people you've never met before and starting to build relationships and doing weekly resets and dungeons together. In time, you start to pick up verbal cues that one of us, was not doing well. So we started out with checking in with one another, seeing how each other were, and then we created a peer-to-peer support network under the umbrella of the St. 14 project is what we originally came out the gate with creating. And we made a Discord space where people could come share in a peer-to-peer support network. It was a nice, safe, and inclusive atmosphere for everyone. And we started gathering resources because, to help people avoid the rabbit hole of Dr. Google. Have vetted resources, and Dr. Williams played a pivotal part in that with helping compile a lot of the resources and vetting them and making sure that people had meaningful resources. And we started to grow from there and identify areas in the gaming space that were really lacking in tools and resources, and wanted to create something to fill that gap, fill the void, to provide something to people that would be incredibly useful and to utilize on different platforms. And from there, we went and got our 501c3 nonprofit status. So we looked around, we could create these programs, we could stand shoulder to shoulder with peer organizations and really make a positive impact in the gaming space. And that's what we set out to do, and that's what we continue to do today.
Incredible. So in the form of your programs, like I'm seeing on your website, which is guardiansmh.org. For those of you at home that are listening, that would like to check out the website. I'm seeing that you guys have like mental health kits that you guys offer up for free, real-time support, and like an app. And so, is this like comparable to other organizations in that field, or is this like
As far as the resources we provide,
Mm-hmm.
I think we have a very unique tailored resources and programs that you don't see a lot of other orgs. Yes, a lot of the resources we do use, and Doc will verify this, and so will Nate, that it's a lot of them. What we use is evidence-based resources that can be found everywhere, and everybody uses them and has access to them. As far as the mental health kits and the RTS bot and library system, our individual, our opportunity to work with individuals and assist them with next step resources goes above and beyond other organizations that are in the space as well. They have, several have their own programs that are modeled similar to make positive impacts and to help others with giving them tools and things like that. We're in a unique position that none of our programs or resources come with any financial barriers for people to overcome. People have access to everything under our umbrella, 100% free to the individual. And that's what goes miles and miles, because there are others out there, and we've been pressured in the past by, others like, why don't we charge for our mental health kits, at least shipping and this and that, because that's the point of it. And these guys will agree as well too. If somebody could pay $5, we don't want somebody who can't afford $5 in shipping to not get these tools and resources to them. We want everybody to have access to them, and as many people as we possibly can. And you can't do that if you're worrying about somebody coughing up $10, $15 for it. And plus also looking the mental health kits, originally we developed to just have at conventions, at live events, because the idea stemmed from hosting a booths at various shows. And me, and a personal experience was, at the end of a show, you've been to a big convention, you got that big bag of goodies and everything, you're in your hotel and you're like, oh, where was that one paper or thing that I grabbed from that booth?
Or that card.
And you start tearing that son of a gun open and you're looking for it. Well, after 5 minutes of looking, you're like, I don't know where the hell it went. Damn, that sucks. And you gave up looking on it. Well, that's the problem right there. It was such a great resource. It stuck out in my mind to use later. But then I couldn't find it and I gave up on it. So we came up with the idea of curating something that was an all-inclusive kit where you would have not only printed resources, but Dr. Williams pushed for the physical items as well too, the sensory, blending the two in there to have in one bag or box, to have right there. You could keep everything nice and organized, and you'll be able to find it very easily once you got back, and you could tear into it and utilize everything inside it. Then COVID hit, and all of us saw the impact that had on everyone, including ourselves. And with the lockdown and everything, we took the next step, and we said, you know what, we're going to open up requests live, just to send to people. That way they have tools and resources that they can use in their homes during this difficult time. And we launched, I believe, right when it was kicking off. I believe we were exhibiting at PAX East right when the lockdowns were happening. It was hitting hard. And that was the last one for like 2 years.
You said that was in February, Goku?
March.
Yeah,
March. Because I remember you and me were having a chat about like those mental health kits, and we were doing some research online the month prior, trying to figure out, well, what's everyone doing, or what do they have available. And they were like these, I know we found like a couple like super bougie mental health kits for like $100.
Yeah.
with like some incense, a statue of Buddha, and just a notepad.
Mm.
And coming from the mental health professional side, I was seeing that, well,
Mm-hmm.
it's nice, but there's no substantive value to
Right.
this. You're just buying stuff.
Yeah, it's a nice little
Eh.
kit that you could put Buddha on your shelf and, burn the incense or have the candle and stuff. But when it came down to it, having a clinical view and, a mental health professional sit down and actually go through, and we curated everything and then designed everything. Like if you saw what they look like today and what they look like when we first released them, they're
Oh, the
night and
game's
day.
different.
The
Iteration,
graphics
what,
are way
8?
better. Oh yeah. Well, I believe we're on version of the main kit. We're on version 3 now. We update that one pretty frequently. But as far as full blown layouts, this is our 3rd one for that one. But we have 8 different focused mental health kits now. So it started as just a generalized mental health kit. I don't have one in here. I have one of the Guardian ones in here with me. But we have our main mental health kit, a neurodivergence focused mental health
Mhm.
kit, suicide awareness one that we did with To Write Love on Our Arms. We have a veteran and active service member. Yeah, that's the original one right
The
there.
OG one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a postcard. Yeah, that's night and day now. But we have a veteran focused one. We have our esports focused one. We have a tabletop focused one, as well as the Destiny focused one, and now our mindful painting kit. So now we've included utilizing tabletop gaming, specifically
Mhm.
miniature painting, in therapeutic ways and for self-care, and we provide all these supplies an individual would need to start painting miniatures in therapeutic ways, along accompanied with valuable printed resources and step-by-step guides, as well as communities and various other things, and still blending in breathing exercises, safety crisis plans, gratitude lists, next step contacts, just very universally beneficial resources into that kit as well, to blend the two together. The painting miniatures and tabletop side to mental health resources as well too, and it's been absolutely fantastic so far as well too. And those are very simple.
Yeah, like what you had mentioned, Joe, those mental health kits, the resources inside, we didn't want it to be just that Dr. Google one,
Yeah.
where so many people would just go online. Because if you're like Googling like a breathing exercise, you're going to find thousands upon thousands of the same versions of a breathing exercise.
Or the AI version of that breathing exercise.
Yeah. Thank you, Google AI.
Yeah.
But now what we try to do is to simplify it in a way, because again, with clients, I talk almost every single day. I reference breathing exercises because it's something that's super important.
Mhm.
But it's how you deliver it, how you practice it, but also how you word it. And the fact that we have limited space on the cards, we have to make it, again, evidence based,
Mhm.
easily understandable, but not so overwhelming.
Mhm.
Because again, we could go for like 30 minutes on like the benefits and the biological principles of a breathing exercise,
Mhm.
but most people are going to check out. So having that, like, this is the exercise, having our SUD scale of this is when you should use it, and here are the steps to follow.
Excellent. So what got you into the mental health field? Dr.
me?
Goku. Yeah.
For me, well, I've told the story in the past, and
Money.
I was gonna say
If I
my
if it
wife
would've been
is in
money, I would've
social
gone
work.
into psychiatry, not
My-
psychology.
My wife
Well,
is in social
she's not in
work.
it for the money.
No, she's not in it for the money. Like, I understand that. So continue, Goku. Sorry.
Sorry.
So for me, my origin story is back when I was a kid, second grade, around second grade, I think.
Mhm.
Me and my parents were in a car accident
Mhm.
after coming home from a hockey tournament, and that really bothered me, scarred me, and I developed anxiety, and quite severe anxiety at the time. I was able to see a psychologist at the hospital that really helped me, and that kind of started me on that journey. And I did multiple different variations of different career paths to kind of come back to that initial thought of going into psychology.
Heck yeah, that's rad. Nate,
And
I've
trying to
known.
marry the
Yeah,
gaming and pop culture and psychology.
that's great. I've known Nate for ages now. I feel like it's been like over 10 years at this point, but
Yeah, it's pushing that.
it's pushing that. So what brought you to Guardians Mental Health? Like, what was it about their mission that spoke to you?
So it's kind of funny, like between your community and GMH, like this has been a good chunk of my online interaction. Um, and it all kind of came about like I think I fell into your community when I was like just about having my first child. Like I
Mm-hmm.
started getting really involved. Um, and then because of that, and then having kind of being stuck at home, taking care of kids, being older than I am, it was just kind of like I don't know. I needed a place to vent, and there were a few other people in that shared community that said, "Hey, we've got this thing over here. Go check it out." And it
Mm-hmm.
kind of came word of mouth, and I dropped in, and that was 2019, um, or probably 2018, and I just never left. And it was it just the whole community struck such a chord with me. Um, and I started opening up about things, and then there were people that would just not interacting with them directly, would just go, "Hey, I saw what you wrote, and that really meant a lot because I thought no one else felt that way."
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, so it just grew and grew, and eventually these guys said, "You know what? Why don't let's kind of put you in charge of that group for a little bit. Get a moderation team together and kind of have a unified skill set." Um,
He's a
and
natural born leader. He really is.
Mm-hmm.
He is very good at taking charge and directing people as well. He's very
yeah,
good at managing.
And then, through the course of that, they found better people than me, but I'm glad that I laid that foundation. It's let me in. And I was talking with Bonna pre-show, like I'm getting in that stage with my kids that I have less and less time that I can dedicate
Mm-hmm.
to hobbies and gaming. They're 8 and 7 now, and they want me so involved in their lives, and that is always going to take first precedent
Hmm.
for me.
Right.
Um, and what's the circle back and irony of that is had I not found these guys and had I not been involved with Guardians, I don't know that I would have been in a good place to make that choice and
Mm-hmm.
not do unhealthy things like just go, nope, gaming is my escape, and
Right.
to heck with all the other noise. So it's just been a part of my story and part of my journey.
And
Excellent.
what you're mentioning, Nate, it's so important. Just again, going through these life changes and different stages in life, and trying to find that balance.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. I know that's something
Yeah.
as a streamer and a content creator, struggles. Like we're trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
figure out like I have a day job, I have a relationship with
Mm.
Ginny, I have a relationship with my friends and my family, and then like I have the community that we're building, like not only in my own channel but also here. And yeah, it's a lot that like to take into consideration and a lot to juggle, and it can be tough sometimes. So
Yeah, and I mean, Dan and I have been in each other's DMs per se, and
mhm.
just kind of bouncing stuff off each other, just like, "Hey, how you doing?" And like, "Hey, I'm struggling with this," and vice versa, and
Mhm.
just kind of air that stuff out. And like you said, Doc, it's all about trying to find that balance, and a lot of us have that trouble.
Yeah. Before we get into the collaboration with Bungie, Bonna and Sammy, do you guys have any comments or anything that you guys want to add? Any
Just
questions?
keep it up, guys. Like ever since I think I first started like streaming, like back in 2020 during the pandemic, you guys are just so prevalent, and I think I met Dan sort of quite early. Well, knew of Dan sort of quite early before the pandemic, but just even back then, it was just, oh, fucking go check out GMH, or just constantly like, oh, GMH have great resources. So it's almost like you guys have done such a great job of like drumming it in that the resources are there for help if you are willing to, seek help.
Yeah,
So,
and I was saying earlier too that I believe everybody here has worked with us in some capacity for one of our charity events or our stream weekends over the years, and I mean, it's great seeing everybody again.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that we've been around
years.
for this amount of time.
Yeah.
What, going on 7 years now?
Yes,
It's
7 years
as
since the very
Guardians?
beginning. Since Guardians, 6 years.
Yep.
Yeah, Saint 14 Project was the original one.
Yep.
And then Project Guardians, and now
then
Guardians MH.
Guardians Mental Health.
Yeah.
I remember that from old podcast days. Way back in the day. So yeah.
Saint 14 Project. Whew, I found out somebody was at a convention and they actually had one of the pins, and they had it on like with the rest of them, and it was like the size of your pinky nail. It's like, oh my god, it does exist still.
That's where we
I don't
started.
even have one of
I
those.
have my hoodie of it.
Yeah, I did find a hoodie. I do have a hoodie. It's not mine anymore. My oldest has it. She took it. But no, yeah, and you're absolutely right. But the greatest thing is, thanks for saying what you did, Bonna. But that's it right there. If it wasn't for your support, each and every one of you, and then everybody listening and everybody in the community, if it wasn't for everybody's support, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. We wouldn't be here today. It's all of your collective support that enables us and motivates us to do what we do and to keep moving forward with identifying new areas that are lacking tools or resources, and developing new resources or updating programs, and just keep moving forward, that we do what we do, just like our RTS bot and library system. It can be used on Discord, Twitch, any web browser, and our own app. We have our own app, which is insane to say. It's 100% free and collects zero data. Like, we don't track anything. We don't allow third party to track anything. It's safe surfing for resources and all of our digital mental health kits. So you can find all the resources. You can look through each mental health kit, see which one works best for you, and then request the physical version of that one if you'd like. But I went from accidentally going to a Twitch, like I thought was a meet and greet, and I told this the other night while painting. What I thought was a meet and greet at a PAX show. After we got through the third point of security at the, like, I think it was like Amazon headquarters or whatever, the guy with me who was volunteering with us leaned forward and goes, "I don't think we're supposed to be here." I leaned back and I said, "It's too late now. I ain't going back through. We already went through. We're gonna find out what's at the end of this hallway and up that elevator now at this point." And it turned out to be a developers meeting. It was held by the developers for Stardew Valley, and they were doing a presentation on utilizing extensions for gameplay for viewer interaction. Really interesting, really cool to see. Didn't know a damn thing they were talking about. There was like 80 developers in there from all sorts of indie devs and up and down, and I'm over in a corner with the free swag and food and everything. Like I had a bag stuffed full of stuff under the table, ready to go, just ready to get kicked out. But I was eating as much as I could because I was hungry. I was taking notes, and they got to me, and they're like, "What do you develop?" I said, "Absolutely nothing. Time to be truthful." And I told them what we do, what we're here for, what I thought it was. Everybody laughed, but I pitched an idea. And this is what we wanted to do, because we were at the early stages of trying to figure out how to go about doing it and creating something for the community. Because back in the day, everybody that a streamer tried to help provide resources to people, and the way that they were able to do that was they were doing the heavy lifting by going into Nightbot and writing individual commands for it. Not maintaining it, just doing it that way. We wanted to do the legwork and have vetted resources so you knew these resources were meaningful going forward. And they taught me how to write in Java. So they all came around me for about 45 minutes and got me started with writing. And I spent 2 weeks writing the very first one. And then Mark or Cram on our team took it to the next level and integrated it, switched it over to Python and put it into not only Discord, but to Twitch, web browsers, accessible everywhere. And now it serves 432,857 people worldwide.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's not
Which
a
is a
box under your
huge
desk anymore.
No, and it crashed every day because of the load. Every day I had to reset it. But it's night and day. Like, I literally just deleted the original files for it.
Oh, no.
I didn't delete it. I put them on an external hard drive, but I deleted it off my computer.
Right.
But it's like that one fishing lure you had as a kid. Like, you're never going to use it again, but you don't want to throw it out, or something like that. But yeah, that's how it is. And it's amazing. And it all comes back to everyone's support that makes this all possible.
So you guys,
that's it. That's my rambling. Sorry.
that's good. So you guys do, you said before we started recording that you guys do like 4 events every year. When's the next one coming up?
The next one, we usually try and do it by quarter. We just had one back in March, so we're probably looking for like June is our next one. And then we'll do one towards the end of summer, like end of August, and then we'll do one like a kind of a wrap up in December, which we try and do something really, really fun. Last year it was Pause for a Cause end of year gala. So we had shirts made for everybody that took part in it. We had a big team campaign, so anybody could be involved in it. And if you raised, I think it was a minimum of like $50, you got a shirt. Like if you raised $50, you got a shirt. I'm
wearing mine. Unfortunately, my camera died.
Oh, well, you got batteries in it still?
No, what we were talking about earlier. I have got a Windows update pending.
Oh, I got you. That's all right. I was gonna say those double A's, man. They freaking drink quick. But yeah, no, we usually do something fun in December, kind of wrap up the year, and then we show what our impact has been throughout the year, do kind of like a little bit of a highlight, and unfortunately, I usually end up getting slimed.
Or
Which,
Well, it was
or pied.
pies, now it's slime.
Yeah, went the extra mile, and yeah, I regret the last one because I hung like slime bombs above me in here.
Okay.
Terrible idea.
So,
Never do that.
I need to ask a question that has nothing to do with GMH outside of the slime aspect.
Oh no.
What is so what's the best slime recipe for being slimed?
Oh, well, if you go
have to buy
back,
that
if
bucket.
you Google Nickelodeon.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. No, actually, I'll actually show it to you. You can get it on Amazon. It is a powder mix. So this is meant for like events where you are like, think of like the paint runs. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Where it's just shooting paint at you. This is for like filling a 500-gallon dunk tank. Shit you not. Like, there is so much of it. Like, I bought another box. It lasted 3 years from the last one. And I would slime myself with 10-gallon buckets of this stuff. And essentially, it is. And it's like applesauce, like the consistency of it. Yeah. So
Yes,
think of the
everywhere.
Nickelodeon, like, slime. Like, not the, like, one, like, where it's really stringy, like you got slime by Slimer.
Like Gak.
This
It's not
is
like Gak.
it's like Gak.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Yeah. Yeah, so it's like that like applesauce type consistency.
Ugh.
Gets everywhere, but you can make a lot of it. It's like $20 and you just add water and mix. And I'm going to tell you what, don't put a lot in. It goes a lot further than you think because what you think, like, read those directions and cut it in half, and that'll be more than enough. I filled a kiddie pool with that stuff before by accident and didn't know what to do with it. Huh?
I remember
sounds
that
very
one.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. That was really cold though too, so pay attention to the water temperature. 'Cause
So-
Are you
that'll
still
be a
cleaning up?
second.
Are you still cleaning up slime? Like from
Dude,
your room?
Yes, I
I
am.
pied myself once for actually some GMH thing, and I pied myself and just cream, and I've still got stains on the walls in the other room, and it smelt like fucking like
Oh yeah,
off
Yeah,
milk
that
Yeah.
whipped
for
cream will
weeks.
stay in your nostrils forever.
Ugh.
You're not
it's not
getting
even
I
that.
did it so
He's got
hard.
a beard too.
There was
So-
about 6 of us on camera, right?
Ooh.
And
Yep.
I remember watching the recording back. I went full at it. It went up my nose, like I'm tasting it in my cerebellum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
And it's
oh
all on my
gosh.
beard. It's all covered. There's a big GIF over Discord that you can find somewhere that people keep fucking sending around. But then I go and watch the video back. Everyone's like, "Ah," and I'm just like,
They hauled off and
you went
gotcha.
full for it.
there's a little bit of cream on me. And I'm just there. It's in my pores through my beard. I'm like, okay, guys, nice way to full send the cream. All right.
Bono went for, I'm not getting my deposit back. That's what I'm
I'm not.
hearing.
I'm fucking not, dude.
Yeah, I got accustomed to drop cloths.
Yeah.
So I put drop cloths everywhere. That helps contain it a little bit. But I also, when I do slime myself in here, I have a different chair that is actually in a kiddie pool. That the kiddie pool catches all of it. Actually, my daughter, the last one, the very last pie for the last event, hit me on top of the head with the pie, and it went everywhere. It went all over the chair. It went everywhere. Like, I was good for the entire weekend until that point. But I could literally point,
notes.
like, there's a spot over here there's some slime still. There's a little spot over there. Like, dude, I'll be washing it out of my beard for days.
The Bungie collaboration. So
Yes.
how did that come about? When did you guys like, I'm sure that this is something that has been months and months of planning in advance in order to get
Years.
that rolling. Years. Well, I mean, just thinking on, so I used to be in bands and it was like, if you wanted to play a show 3 months from now, you had to book that show today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like get that rolling down the, how did you guys get in contact
So-
with Bungie, and how did that come to be?
So we never, are you talking about like the way back with the original kit development, or what we're doing now?
I mean,
currently?
what you're doing now currently, like the,
Sure.
'cause-
So we never lost connection with
Mhm.
everybody at Bungie. So every year, if you don't know, the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Mhm.
So that is really our time to shine, really, and put our best foot forward every single year. Do extra content, extra streams, talk about it, normalizing, talking about mental health, and share our resources as well as our programs and everything, and really, really put our best effort forward. So
Having
for the
those
last couple
roundtables
years,
really helps.
every year we send the team at Bungie a deck of something that we could do or collaborate on. This is what we're doing for the month of May. Here are some ideas that we could do together. Well, as you just stated, things need time to plan. So every time we were reaching out, it was like April, and it's like, next month is this. They're like, we'd love to, and they still helped every single year. They would help retweet, help share, help support in various ways, but nothing in like this capacity. So
Right.
a wonderful individual over at the the inclusion clubs and mental health at Bungie Club. I wonder if I can say her name without getting her in trouble. Asia, wonderful individual there. Wonderful. She goes, let's meet in like October, and then we'll start tabling it. So we had a call, and Doc was there for the first one, and we were hatching out a few ideas and stuff like that. And unfortunately, the month of May was already essentially written in stone what they were doing. But they wanted to offer something in April, and it's like, it's National Stress Awareness Month. This would be of course, we would be eager to do something. This would be a great lead in for Mental Health Awareness Month. do something collaboratively on that front, and have it be a lead in right into Mental Health Awareness Month, and then we can really shine. It would be fantastic. And we had a different idea that we tabled, and it was a few different things that was going to be very easy, a couple pre-recorded videos, stuff like that, could share, on the networks, throughout the month, just help boost the signal and the message during, Stress Awareness Month. And then we got 2 levels of green lights, and then it got into February, and then there was the next level, and then she sent a thing like a month or towards the end of February, beginning of March, with a completely different direction. And it was like, okay, everything's been approved, but now the Bungie Foundation wants to do something, and we're releasing the emblem. And the thing that's very, very special about this campaign, so for the love is the mind saver emblem, this is the first time in Bungie / Destiny history that they have ever released just an emblem for a cause like this. It's usually attached to a pin. A pin sale, you buy the pin, you get the emblem. This is the first time they've ever done this. So they wanted to do this for us. So they wanted to attach us with that, which is absolutely mind-blowing. And then a few other things that we can't talk about. So it was very surreal. I stared motionless in my office right here for 15 minutes. I could not look at the screen. I never finished the rest of the email. And I just sat here staring at my phone, texting Doc. I forwarded him the email, asked him to read the entire thing because I couldn't. And I sat motionless because it was just very surreal. We did not think it would, from what the small activation that we were planning and doing turned into something absolutely epic and massive that we cannot say thank you enough or express, without, starting to cry on your show, how much this means to all of us and how much good we can do with something like this. And it's absolutely incredible, and really caught us off guard because that wasn't the initial plan. Right. And then it went.
Forwarded me that email.
Yeah,
it actually made me late for a client because I had to read the email, and it took me like 10 minutes to process.
It's like, wait, okay, so everything's been greenlit, but now it's this, and it's like, oh my God. And it just shows how much they support our mission, what were our goals and everything that we're doing, and are dedicating this to help support us and bring awareness to not only National Stress Awareness Month, but also the great work that we do here at Guardians Mental Health. It's very validating, that we're in the right direction. We're doing impactful work. We're creating things that are very useful to everybody, and we're making a difference. And it's not to go without saying, when we worked before with Bungie, we came out with the Guardian Focus Mental Health Kit, and we provided over 7,000, almost 8,000 of those kits before we just flat out ran out of funding for the entire kit program for a while. Like, we put absolutely everything into these, heart, soul, and everything.
Hit us like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, this guy's over here like every week, like, how are we making out on the fulfillment? And I'm sitting here like, 4,000 in, and I'm doing it every waking moment. I'm like, how the hell do you think we're doing?
Well, we thought we get a couple hundred. That was going to be it, and we got hit with like 1,000 within the first couple minutes.
Yep, and when we cut it off, it got to 10,000, and we had the funding to do 7,000 and change. So we had to actually cut it off and send everybody digital copies, digital mental health kits, because every physical mental health kit is accompanied with a digital companion.
Right.
That way, because it's very cumbersome to carry 5x7 cards with you in your back pocket.
Right.
The digital companions you can get now the app, are accessible wherever you are. you can save it right to your phone. You can access it anywhere, and you can have access to those breathing techniques, those grounding exercises, the focus resources, everything. We're working on trying to incorporate like mobile coloring into it for mindfulness activities and stuff. Just to have kind of more utilization for those. But it's absolutely incredible how much support they've given and just how wonderful the entire team is. And we've said it in the past, and I'll say until I'm blue in the face, Bungie Studio is really a leader in the developer community with how much that they support inclusion and also impact-driven campaigns. They're very selfless. They support so many throughout each year. Our friends at Stack Up, Rubicon. If there's a natural disaster, they are always hitting the ground running, doing something to help support the people that were impacted by that disaster. And there are studios out there that could learn a lot just by how much good Bungie does for others. And I mean the Games to Give program that started it all. The first thing in the heart and soul of the Bungie Foundation. Look how much good it does for children in hospitals and people and families as well. It's absolutely incredible. I'm going to make myself cry. That's how impactful it is. And I will never fault anybody if you take the time to do a charity event, like do a charity stream weekend or something like that. It takes a lot of hard work. I don't care who you're raising funds for. I think it's absolutely amazing that you are, and I will pat you on the back. I will show up to help support it, if I know what's going on, because I know how much hard work it takes and how much dedication and heart you have believing in that mission and that, helping to make a difference. And that goes miles. This isn't throwing some of your pocket change in the red bucket coming out of Walmart at Christmas time. This is, you're putting days of planning, if not weeks or months of planning, to do this event and to create something entertaining and engaging and to, boost a message as well too, and to make a difference in the long run for other people. And it's incredible to have that sort of support from the Bungie Foundation and Bungie and the teams there. We love that Bungie is also a leader in accessibility to mental health resources in game. So if you are flying in a load screen, about every 20 load-ins, if you pay attention in the bottom left corner, it is a mental health tab that pops up. And those are the resources that we collectively have provided to Bungie to have access, for the Guardians in the community to have access to in-game and on the Bungie.net site under the help tab. You'll see that there is a mental health resource tab, and those are the resources that we help put together for them. Which is absolutely incredible having that access in game. And I believe we tabled it in one of our initial conversations of having a vendor or something like that or accessible somewhere. And they had, I believe, I can't remember who. I do remember who. I'm just trying to think if I could say their name or not without getting in trouble. But they essentially figured out a way to incorporate it into the game that wasn't in your face, wasn't forced down people's throats, but provided people that access in a comfortable setting. So when you're flying in and you're going through that nice, beautiful aura, warp speed, and you have the mental health tab there, every 20 or so load-ins, and it can be that gentle reminder like, hey, you doing all right? If not, hey, we got some great resources for you. Check them out. And thousands of people click on that and help on their journey, whatever they might be going through, even online bullying, which is a big thing that affects so many.
Well, everything that Bungie's been doing with like the Bungie Foundation and more specifically their Little Light program that has been like years before a lot of these bigger hospitals are catching up to it, it is just showing the power that video games can have.
Yeah.
And just recently, there was a article released by the BBC back in late October where the first, I think it's almost worldwide, um, gaming support. I don't remember what their title is. So gamer role introduced in children's hospital. So they go around that children's hospital playing video games with the children, and they're a paid staff member, and that's their job to bring that support for kids.
That's
I
great,
fucking love that.
That's incredible.
right?
I love that. Because as a kid, when you're sick, no matter, like, you're going through some pretty shit stuff. You're in a hospital, you gotta be.
I
But
remember being a kid, I was hospitalized for
yeah,
mononucleosis for like a week.
Mm.
And
Me too.
do you have like the
it was
GameCube like
horrible.
set up on the TV where they had to like wheel that in?
They
Yeah,
wheeled it in. I had a
yeah.
Super Nintendo. Shows how old I am. And I remember
Hey,
playing
hey.
Super Nintendo.
Nintendo,
And
not
it
Atari,
helped me
Nate. Don't get
through that
offended.
week.
He's like, I still have my Atari.
He's been playing the 2600 down in his basement this entire time.
Yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back in a big way.
Well, retro
sorry, Doc.
gaming's a big thing.
Yeah. So with this, like I'm looking at the thing right here, the Tiltify. You guys are about, it's like 43 away from hitting 4,200 of these of the Love is the Mind Saver emblems
Yeah.
for you guys. But like, what?
It just blows my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Every time I see that total, it just blows my mind.
Yeah. So like throughout the year, like, because I don't know how nonprofit like goes. Like, do you get to keep that in your coffers year over year, or do you have to like spend that by the end for nonprofits?
Well, you're talking about like restricted, unrestricted funding. This would be it's considered unrestricted funding, so it's not like an annual grant or a multi-year thing. This is a one and done. So,
Gotcha.
But this is something that will last years. We do not have a very high overhead, administrative costs or anything like that. We do this because we genuinely want to make an impact. We do not have a payroll. To Doc's chagrin. No, I'm kidding. We couldn't afford him.
You could afford me.
True.
Just my proofreading alone.
Yeah, you know what? I think you get more joy out of that. I think that's enough payment because he likes pointing out my punctuations and stuff. Very much so. And I actually call it out too. I'm like, Nate will read it. Just wait for where. And then all of a sudden, 20 minutes later, it'll be like, take off the apostrophe, move this,
semicolon
say this
here.
instead. Yeah, it's like, okay, he's better than Grammarly. But no, this is a one and done thing. It's an unrestricted fund, but it's the way it translates it is, $10. Every $10 is a mental health kit, essentially. So this will help us provide over 4,000 mental health kits to individuals, and this will be more than just domestically. This will go, we are from this we'll be able to branch out into the UK a lot more with our ambassadors and some of our team members over there as well too. And oddly enough, it's incredibly cheap for shipping out of Germany. So I don't know why or how, but it's cheap to ship pretty much anywhere in the world from Germany. So it's going to be great.
Huge distribution hub.
They must be, because it's like $5 to send it anywhere. Like, it's incredible, like, their costs. And, but yeah, that will be, putting together, a first run to start fulfilling in the UK specifically. Because it's very difficult for us to reach internationally with the physical kits. Unless it's like a care package or something like that, it's very difficult because it's, sending a kit down to New Zealand, just in shipping, it's like $26 for one 10-ounce kit. it's very expensive. So that for that same shipping cost, we could provide three kits domestically, or we could send the one kit overseas. And then it could get caught in customs. It could never show up. It could be a multitude of other other issues that happen when you're shipping internationally. We've had kits come back multiple times after like 2 months, and people ask them, where their kit is. It got sent back for some reason, or somebody at your residency, refused it. Well, could you send it back? Absolutely, but now that's a double hit. So we can only do that so much. So it's very difficult to send internationally. But with something like this, we're able to do that in a very good way that we're structuring it. Will be very easily. And it will be very easy to execute as well as efficient as well. So we're really looking forward to diving into that. Except Canada. Everything's expensive no matter what when you're shipping to Canada. It could be a candy bar and it'll be $40. I could literally drive it to his house.
Yeah.
Probably quicker
It's probably
and
be
cheaper.
cheaper.
Yeah. You just have passport will travel.
Yeah.
I'll move to Canada if it means Joe will turn up.
Oh, that'd be terrifying. A big bearded guy just show up and going, "Here, thank you,"
and then big bearded guy receiving it. Yeah.
So you know what? I'd be down for it.
Let's do it.
So, what was your first reaction when you guys saw the emblem? That it's pretty heavily based on your whole aesthetic. What were your first thoughts when you saw that?
Doc, Nate?
I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And like the color scheme, everything is just like, yep, that's how I would have done it.
Yeah, it has that like current gaming aesthetic vibe, but also has, again, the being the mental health professional, anything brain related, even with her logo and everything, it just hits home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I to be honest, this was data mined last year.
Yeah.
And
I
don't
remember
know
that.
how many DMs we got and I got personally asking, "Is this yours? Is this for you guys?" It's like, I don't know anything about that. I don't know what you're talking about. And to tell you the truth, in all honesty, I've seen it. I've known of it. The other day when it went live and I was home, before I went into hiding, I bought it. I put it on my tune, and I logged in, and I got very emotional when I saw it in game and on my character, because and a lot of people have said the same thing. This is a long time coming, and I've said in the past, just wanting an emblem representing mental health and mental health awareness in game. Don't even care if it would support anyone in particular. Make it just generalized. Would be so important to me. I have not changed my emblem in game since D2 Vanilla. Okay. It has been the same emblem the entire time.
Either in forever.
And I just changed it to this, and it'll be this until the servers go dead.
Same here. I'm not removing this emblem.
Yep, this is what we're all about. What we work so hard for, and the teams at Bungie as well too, with incorporating the mental health at Bungie club or initiative is so important, and I'm just incredibly thankful and humble to be a part of this and open to help and support in any way we can with any of the endeavors that they have going forward. It means a lot.
The thing that hits me the most when I think about that emblem is now when I'm playing the game, and here I get, whatever, PvP, PvE, I get into a random fire team, and I'm going to see that emblem on someone else and go, all right, good on you. Right? Instead of seeing, whatever the, from laser tag weekend or, some of these other things like that, you wear that emblem and it sends a message. that hopefully means you're a genuinely good person, you care about others around you. And just the proliferation of that across the game, I think, is huge. And like you said, Joe, whether it benefited us or not, that in and of itself is just like, a
Mhm.
lot of people have just had this little, like, you can see like a sigh of relief of going, finally someone sees it.
Yep. And I agree. Means
Incredible.
a lot.
Well, so if somebody wanted to get, if someone wanted to get more involved with your organization or become an ambassador for GMH, like as a Twitch streamer, as a creator of any kind, how would they go about applying for that and doing that?
You could actually visit our website, guardiansmh.org. You can go right to our ambassador program page, and there is an application or like a form just to tell us a little bit more about you. Kind of, tell us, a little bit about you, where your content is and stuff like that. Or you can reach out to us in DM on any of the social networks as well as our email. And our email is very easy. It's just support@guardiansmh.org. And we'll respond. We actually responded to several individuals that reached out on DMs, to do something. And any way that you're comfortable with doing so, feel free. And definitely, if you want to be involved with, like, if you're doing a charity event, we'd love to be hands-on with it. We don't like to be one of those orgs where you can just, they just sit back and collect the money and let you do all the work. Nope, we are very involved. We have a very nice charity event deck that gives you more information about us at Guardians Mental Health, transparency of where donations go, some ideas for incentives, because a lot of people get hung up on trying to brainstorm incentives and ideas and milestones. We tried to do a lot of that legwork for you, as well as more information about our programs and other things as well too, is like talking points. And we always offer to be involved as well too. If you would like one of us to come on and talk for a little bit, engage, play, I'll take a pie to the face for you.
Joe,
I
Joe
don't
will
mind.
put his
Same
body on
here.
the line.
Yep.
Will you
jump
put
into
your
the
vault
pool.
on the line?
I will do that every single time. And
Hell
no, we did not. Dude, you know how scared I was of that? Never have I touched the vault. And just this last charity event, I said, I will delete my entire vault. And I showed it. And I said, this is untouched since the beginning of Destiny 2. I have not done any besides deleting some duplicates and stuff. It is everything. It is all of the exotics, all of this stuff that you can't get anymore. And dude, I had a pit in the middle of my chest, like some crazy bastard is going to hit this goal and I'm going to have to delete this. But first I'm going to have to figure out how to delete this. And I was worried that if it got to that, I was going to end up deleting my tune. And I've had this Titan forever. So that would
So
be,
close
I
to
would
getting
crawl
there.
under the desk on that point.
I was pushing for it. I was trying to get us over that mark.
I believe
Man.
one time Dan had to delete a hunter for us during an event. Yep. See, it sticks with me. I'll never forget.
That scares
It's those
me.
emotional ties. It's like, I know how that felt.
Well, we grow attached to these characters. I've had the same warlock since Destiny 1.
Yeah, that's my Titan. Yeah, it's just but you can reach out any way that you'd like. You can join our Discord as well. You can ping a staff member or ping me directly, and we'll talk. Or you can get with Nate or one of the other team members or staff members, and we'd be more than happy to work with you. And we that's one of the bases for our ambassador program is we're not really a numbers people. We don't look and say you need 10,000 followers or this and that or however concurrent. No, our main thing is making more safe and inclusive spaces on these platforms for people to feel safe and entertained as well too. Find good people that are very outgoing and create that atmosphere for others. And if you fit into that criteria right there, then we 100% want to work with you, because that's what it's all about. Just helping each other make us, a healthier, safer community together, and trying avoid a lot of the negative side of it with the mutes, bans, anything like this, because inherently, as a content creator and streamers, you are creating this entertainment. You have viewers that come in on a regular basis, and they start to build relationships. You start to build relationships with one another. Well, when people start getting comfortable, they start to open up, and they can open up in a Twitch chat and really catch people off guard, especially mods, and going, nope, not here, not in my house, and they'll mute and ban. And the person, that'll have such a negative impact on that person, because they saw that place as a safe space that they could be themselves and open up and share, like, hey, I'm kind of having a tough time in this and that, and like, nope, I'm not your therapist. There's a way to do that the right way, and to be empathetic towards people, and
And
Twitch
still
chat might not.
boundary.
Yes, and that's one thing we try and do with the ambassadors too. Is work on setting boundaries, and Doc does a great training and workshop for parasocial relationships, as well as boundary setting as well too, and sticking with it. And those are very important tools for every content creator, because it can be very uncomfortable when you set the guidelines and somebody crosses them, like, hey, I thank you so much for opening up and sharing with me. The Twitch chat might not be the best place for it, but here are some resources that they will definitely listen, and want to listen to what you're going through.
Yeah, the
But
whole
if they keep
parasocial
on,
aspect of it, as much as it bothers some of the content creators, it hits those viewers so hard because they've established that relationship, that if they just get that ban or get that mute without the understanding, it can really throw them off, or really hurt them in ways that people don't understand.
I'll admit, like, when I first started streaming, I was like not anticipating the level of like closeness that you end up getting with an audience in that way. And like there were some times where like just some wild stuff would come through chat, and at the time I did not have the tools to be like, oh, okay. Like, will you, like, I can't solve this for you. And like did draw like a very hard barrier line there. But like it's because of organizations like you, like I point people your way more so now if something like that comes up, especially if it's a little heavier than, just like having a rough day.
Yeah.
Because like
And
that can be tough.
someone in chat had mentioned that content creation is an area where mental health really needs to be more applied. And it's so true because of the nature of streaming. And again, parasocial relationships are nothing new.
Right.
The original study of parasocial relationships was back in 1954.
I was going to say
think I know the year.
Beatlemania was like
It was even before
Yeah,
that. You think I know this by heart because it was my thesis, but it was done to explore the relationship that people would have with TV newscasters. And it just grew to the relationship you develop with like TV characters and people that you would never really have an intimate relationship with. But now with social media and streaming, you have this connectivity that the celebrity, the Twitch streamer, is going to talk to you or answer a question. But again, the Twitch streamer has hundreds, if not thousands, of people there, or even more, and can't really develop that relationship with each viewer. But the viewer develops a really strong relationship because it's a unidirectional relationship.
You're the sole focus when they come to your channel.
Right.
Exactly.
So.
And again, parasocial relationships can create this great community, but it can also create a lot of hardships for people if they're not really careful about it.
So we're going to transition from that into this week in Destiny. Have you guys played any Destiny this week? I know you guys have probably been super busy outside of everything.
I said earlier, I'm very proud that I'm just getting started on the third part of the story for this season, the heresy part. I just kicked it off last night, and it's been. Tell you what, I've been enjoying it quite a bit, but yeah, I tried to get Doc to play last night, but you know.
I was done last night. My kids. I was solo dadding for like half of the day, so I was spent. But I haven't had a chance to hump on Destiny at all this week. I'm hoping to do it in the next couple days.
Are you caught up on the new like seasonal stuff, or like Act 1 and Act 2 at least?
I used to be, but this past year I kind of got away from it just because of how busy I've gotten with a whole bunch of other things.
Heck yeah. Understandable. Understandable.
The only reason I'm caught up is because of you, because of this podcast.
I didn't give you homework, Nate.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So what does everybody
I've been
think?
trying to proc that exotic quest for that machine gun.
Barodiad?
Can't get it procced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is you gotta load in, and it's just a random, like, one of the orbs, right, that spawn in one of the rooms. Dude, now I couldn't get into the landing zone, like, it was glitching, and you couldn't get in. Now I can't get the fuck out of it. Like, every time I load in to the area, I'm loaded in there, and I have to do the 3 things before the door opens for me to get into the main area. It's like, before it was like, you'd load right in, you're right in the middle. It's like, all right. Oh, not here, not there, not there. Okay, let's recycle again and go build orbit, come back in. Now, I'm in the landing zone. I can't get out of it. And every time I spawn in, I'm in the landing zone. It's like, man, what timing now, you know?
I'm currently looking for all the worms for one of the
Are you really?
And I kept trying to load in the other night, and it kept loading me into the same spot, and I was like, I don't need to be here. I need to be somewhere else. Yeah. I just kept trying over and over and over again. Yeah. It was it was rough.
So you feel the pain. Yeah. Yep. The worst part in the landing zone is you'll be fighting everybody too, and then you have the ships. The tomb ships are coming in and shooting at you too, and it's like, come on, I don't need another thing shooting at me. Yeah,
those
the
ships are rough.
They are. They pack a punch.
I do like the new. I do like what they added to the Nether, activity wise, because it does feel like there's a lot more variety in there now, like in the things that you need to finish. But yeah, the ships can be a bit much.
I like you can deactivate these the 3 floating things. I don't know what they're called. I liked that addition to it because that can be pretty challenging if you aren't quick enough. Like if you're quick, you can hit those elevators and boom, 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 boom. But as soon as you activate, turn the one off, the wizards all spawn and everything starts coming back. If you're quick enough, you can get all 3 of them and then they disappear. But that can be really challenging if you miss one or if you stop for a minute, because then you're going to get lit up like 4th of July. And I like that. And yeah, it's definitely nice seeing the variety that is added into it now. But man, them freaking tomb ships. Whatever dev is behind those, man, you need to
they must
nerf
be tackling at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, forget the weapons for next reset. Just nerf the tomb ships a little bit.
They have the
Make
knobs.
them not.
They have a
turn
knob
their
on their
targeting
desk.
off.
They just crank it up and down as they see fit, like just depending on their mood that day.
Exactly. It's kind of
what
like.
do you think this is Helldivers?
Yeah. Bonna and Sammy, how's your week been in Destiny?
You guys, Sam.
I'll be honest, I don't fully remember what all I've done. Oh, Monday.
I know congratulations are in order because
it's been a busy week.
Yeah,
you had
Sammy won.
Sammy won the overall Guardian Games Rushdown Roulette event, with their
For Hunter.
her team.
Can I just
yeah,
say-
for Hunter with Zorg and
Can I just
Mac
say, to interject, last session I was on, I was like, yo, Sammy, what was your score for this week? She's like, I'm not telling you. I'm like, well, I'll tell you my score. Do you want to know what the fucking difference was that I was asking 2 weeks ago? Do you want to know what the fucking difference in score was?
What?
120 points, Sammy.
I know it was. It was. I didn't want to say
Telling you.
anything. It was. I was so nervous.
I was so mad when I found that out, and then we couldn't get back on to trying to beat it. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, tell us about your week.
Okay, to be fair, neither of us won second week, okay?
That was
So-
polish.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just
I-
glad to be invited.
I know. Never came in first for any of the Bungie events that
Mhm.
I've done. I've been fortunate to be a part of. So to actually like win one of these things was
Mhm.
so surreal. It's just so surreal. I'm really, really proud of our team. We worked really hard. I actually felt like I pulled my weight. I think
Yeah.
that I've always been the weaker link out of all of them. When it comes to speed and boss damage, I am not the person. I don't know why they kept asking me back, but I use meta. So I learned a lot. It was very strange. But I'm very, very fortunate. I'm glad because I was able to win some giveaways, but not only for me, but for the community too. I really like that Bungie is starting with these creator events to start to include the community as well.
Mhm.
So it's been great, and I'm so excited.
Well, congratulations to you, bud. That was
Thank
It was cool. It
you.
was cool seeing your name all lit up in lights in the TWID this week. Has anybody touched any Iron Banner this week?
I haven't
Negative.
touched a single thing. I haven't been
Yeah.
able to play this week.
Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't. I've been trying to do catch up stuff in the interim because I really want to play Destiny right now. I don't know why. Like I'm. It just feels really good right now. I don't know if that's gonna pass or not in the next couple months or whatever, leading up to Apollo. But yeah, I'm just really enjoying myself right now. So trying to get in as much as possible just to clean things up in these last 100 days before whatever happens with Frontiers.
gosh. I have one thing that just putting this out there now that we should talk about on a future podcast.
Okay.
I finally experienced Banes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about those.
Okay.
Okay, I'll say
Yeah.
one right now.
Yeah,
I'll just
say
say
one.
one
Drop
right now.
drop
Okay.
some knowledge there. Yeah.
All right. So I don't know how many of you guys have done the Sunless Cell strike. I'm going in totally spoiler free.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't remember a lot of it. And this is the first time I've really paid attention to Banes
Mm-hmm.
at all. Because I haven't done strikes or any of those things, except for some GMs and other people dealt with the Banes. And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of different types of Banes. And I'm like, guys, what is this? Well, and they gave me a chart, and I'm just like, I can't figure this out. And some of them are exploding, and some are throwing comets. And some of them are they're all purple. And I know the freezy ones.
Yeah.
I know the freezy ones. I know the ones that are, if they're glittery, they're going to try and blow up.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the drain Banes.
Oh yeah. Drain Banes and those electrostatic ones, the ones that shoot you with the bolt.
I hadn't gotten one of those yet.
Okay, well you're gonna get one.
I'm doing Sunless Cell.
Mm-hmm.
It's the brand new strike. If you guys don't know what it is, it's reprised from D1.
Mm-hmm.
And I've only gotten to the part where, sorry, spoilers, there's a subjugator.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it solo, all bow, starting out without
Completely blind?
HUD as well. Completely blind,
Okay.
yeah. So I finally get to this subjugator, and the first time he's throwing comets at me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well, I've seen this one before. I kind of know what to do. and he's throwing comets and he's throwing ice and all this stuff. Second time I get there, he's a freaking drain bane.
Yep.
Like, what the heck? So
that's
he's
what I love about the
throwing
Banes.
ice, and
is that-
he's draining me, and I'm running out of Levy's breath, and then, oh my gosh, it was so much. And he has like 8 trillion health.
Yeah.
So I'm just losing my mind here, because how am I supposed to drain his health when he's draining my health and throwing ice at me at the same time?
Yep.
And oh my goodness gracious. So I have a lot to say about Banes, but all I'm going to say right now is that I don't like the drain Banes at all.
Right.
I think that they were just awful, awful choice. I mean, I kind of like them a little bit because they're so bad, but oh my gosh, who makes a subjugator with 8 trillion health be a drain bane and throw ice at me?
You know what?
My goodness.
That's the variety that I love in Destiny right now. Is that like, especially like Sunless Cell, I forgot that came out this week. It just feels like there's so much that has happened this past week. But the Sunless Cell, it is like, it was a trip down nostalgia lane for me, because like back in D1, that was probably one of the better strikes, and I'm glad that they brought it in to Destiny 2. I don't want to spoil too much because you're going in blind and you've only gotten up to a certain point. But it maintains, it maintains the like the same vibes as the other one. One of the things that I thought was impressive about it was actually that like, so they maintained the vibe. The difficulty doesn't necessarily come from like managing your lives can be kind of an issue in that space, and they don't give you a lot of opportunities to recoup those lives the entire time. So in that way, it is difficult in its own unique way, separate from every other GM, is that it doesn't give you a lot of opportunities to bounce back. And I think I like that a little bit. Like there weren't as many champions. Banes were plentiful and different. The encounters, when they were different, they chose very smart ways to play along with it, like that subjugator in that room.
Is just dumb.
But yeah, the health pools are crazy insane. Like for those like that mid boss and on. But yeah, I like that. It was cool.
I'm enjoying it so far.
Mhm.
It's just with solo GM, especially going in blind. You make a couple mistakes. You make one mistake,
Right.
and I'm under level too. I'm like even more under level. But you make one mistake, and it's like you're back to orbit, and then you have to go through it all again. So I've only died 4 times. I'm on my 5th attempt. I've made it to that room twice, 2 or 3 times, twice. I wasn't expecting it to be a Bane. Yeah. I can say though, shield break. If you're doing the GM and you're using a void or arc energy, use shield break on your arms, because you are going to get that ammo charge so fast.
Incredible.
That armor charge. But yeah, I'll let you know how it goes next week. I'm doing it.
Perfect.
Might not help.
We'll do Sammy Salt
Might not be
Corner,
finished.
and we'll see what we can do.
Oh my gosh, those games.
We also, so this week we also had the marathon ARG go live, and that seems crazy. I haven't been following that. Has anybody like that closely? Has anybody here been like checking that out?
I see that they're doing a thing April 12th, live gameplay. So I think that's what I think Aztec was trying to break the code. I think it was Aztec. Can't remember who it was.
There's
exactly.
a lot of people. There's a lot of people.
I know.
There.
Oh, I'm sure.
I was watching a few, and they were trying to figure out the codes and stuff like that to break it, and that is extremely out of my wheelhouse. Like I'm the guy that looks at polygon guides for getting
Mhm.
through an encounter. Like I'm not figuring that out on my own. So I have a lot of deep respect for those in the community who live for those puzzles and
Mhm.
stuff. And the brainchild of them, I gotta give them props, man. I don't know how they figure out, like, how do you sit in a room and it's like, okay, this is gonna be the puzzle for them to figure out. We're gonna do this and it's
Yeah.
congrats. But no, I'm really excited to see the gameplay on the 12th. I think that's gonna be really cool to see.
Yeah, I guess while we've been live, Indecision says the trailer for the gameplay reveal was cracked by Scaro and Milo. So,
Really?
like, just while we've been here in this conversation, um, it doesn't surprise me that it's coming up that quick, because I know. So Jeff Grubb, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He's a games journalist that works with Giant Bomb, and he'd been saying for a while that they were aiming for something in April, for some reveal for Marathon. So it made sense that it would be coming up soon. And then seeing all the press kind of get I think I saw something from Kind of Funny Games where somebody got in to the press release and was able to play a few minutes of it there as a preview. I think Jeff Keighley also tweeted out that he had played it as well.
Saw a few of those passes.
Yeah. A few of those passes are out there. So it makes sense that it's coming up. What my hope is that, like, at the end of it, they're like, and like, keep an eye out for X date for a reveal for what's coming in Apollo. Like, maybe not showing something right at the end, but giving us like a date and a time for something going forward. Do you guys think that we could possibly see anything like that? It's supposed to be like July. I think it's like July 15th or something like that, if the countdown in Destiny right now and the Under the Journeys tab is to be believed. But because I think it's like supposed to be 100 days from now. But we'll see, because we haven't heard anything for ages.
What's that gonna look like, you know?
Right.
It's a whole new path and like journey to go on. Like no one knew what was gonna happen. You know, the Light and Dark saga is over. And this is just like the last remaining remnants. Like, what's after this? And like, it's very surreal to even think 100 days from now we're gonna see the first glimpse of what is after this.
That's if they're on target. Like, that's
right.
If they're on target, yeah. But it's just very wild to think. I'm excited for it.
Heck yeah.
Marathon, what? You know?
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much been the news for everything this week, I assume, unless anybody has anything else. That we have a couple of questions that have been asked, if we want to get into those.
My big thing was just to congratulate Sammy on getting that win.
Heck yeah.
I haven't had a chance to play
Thank you.
anything or really be a part of anything, so really great to see.
I appreciate that a lot.
Congrats, Sammy.
Yeah, congrats.
Thanks,
guys. So we had a couple questions here. One of them actually came from my chat, because I thought it was a good conversation to have here on the podcast. Was Doug Dot from my chat asked, if you were to make a choice in content direction on Destiny, would you rather have more dungeons or more raids? Because right now we have like a 2-to-1
person. I like dungeons.
As much as I like raids, I'm with Joe. I'm doing dungeons just due to lack of time.
Yeah, I think dungeons are more accessible.
Yeah.
Like,
I can solo through a dungeon, or it's easier to LFG a dungeon than it is a raid. Like I don't get to play with people often, man. So I deeply enjoy running through the dungeons more than, like, I have not raided since, ironically, King's Fall was relaunched. I haven't done a full raid since VOW. So, but I've done countless dungeons. Like, that's the one thing I do like every week, just to do.
Yeah.
So
I like the narrative that comes with raids,
Mm-hmm.
and I
yeah,
wish that could be carried over into dungeons.
Mm.
To
Instead of
have
like
a
a
little bit more
side plot
narrative.
kind of thing.
Right.
plus man, this last raid was rough, wasn't it?
I mean,
Took like 18 hours to clear it or something.
yeah,
Like they
I'm
got
just getting
pretty in
around.
depth.
I'm just getting around to like feeling more comfortable in it, and it's
Yeah.
been several months now. Like is in like
It speaks volumes.
well,
They
it's
nailed it on that one for
yeah. It is a difficult one. I feel like I finally cracked it where it's like it's not difficult. It's just that like this one part can be discouraging for people. And it's Verity. I think Verity is the thing that people see and their eyes just cross and they just see all the all the equations flying at their face. They're like, I'm out. I'm good. I don't need to do anything more. But it is difficult. Yeah, Bonna and Sammy, what about you guys?
Yes, Sam.
Yes.
um, I don't know. I feel like the next raid is going to be a lot shorter. Probably like Scourge of the Past sort of level. Probably like raid layer sort of level. So, if anything, it might just feel like a 6-man dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, and there's room for
I don't
that.
know.
We like Root of Nightmares is
Yeah.
kind of the same way. Like it's
yeah.
Like I guess that would be kind of
Simple.
the happy medium I would be okay with
Mm.
you know, like the raid layers were,
Yeah.
like you said, they're that kind of short form like a dungeon, but still have the 6-man aspect to it. So
Mm.
Mhm.
it's got a little more, I don't know, I guess a little more complexity to it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
I
think-
think my problem with raids is one, you know, obviously finding 6 people to play with our
Mhm.
community is not that hard if I really wanted to. But 2, setting out the time, especially if, you know, someone like me who's coming in fresh, now I've got to be educated on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have, like, you don't have, and I don't have 3 hours to sit and learn something like that.
Well, I got
Yeah,
time
exactly.
generally. I
Yeah,
generally
but
have time.
you make the time. You make the time every single Sunday.
Yeah.
Ryan runs raids with the community and helps and everything.
Oh
For
yeah,
me,
he does,
I,
but yeah,
yeah.
to deal with my
Yeah.
dumb
Oh,
butt
for sure.
dying all the
I get you
time.
completely.
Yeah.
I used to run raid helps all the time. GM helps, raid helps, and
Mhm.
I can't keep up with it anymore. And I don't raid anymore because, you know, I don't have, unfortunately, the time commitment to help people sort of
Yeah.
either catch up or, you know, learn it for the first time themselves. I used to love doing, you know, those raid helps and getting people comfortable with it, but
Yeah,
you
like,
know,
you know what
it's
my
just
least
shit. I
favorite
don't
Yeah.
have the time to do it. Therefore, it's off-putting to me.
Mm-hmm.
my least
For
favorite part
raids-
of raids
oh.
is the sigh. And we all know what I mean by that. When
Mm.
you're doing a raid and you hear the sigh, and it's like, okay, I'm done.
Mm.
Because again,
When I-
if people aren't like
Oh, sorry.
seasoned raiders
Mm.
and they're just jumping in for the first time or second time, it takes a while to get really accustomed and
Mhm.
acclimated to all of the mechanics and how everything is laid out. And I remember some LFG groups of, oh, we just want to clear it like under an hour, have
Mhm.
Galahorn and 20 clears or not, you're booted.
Oh yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we took a guy through Vault of Glass for the first time today. Like, dude had he said that
that.
his experiences were like that he would play a couple of bosses from Garden of Salvation, and then that's all of his raid experience. And I was like, well, we're doing Vault of Glass right now. Like, tell you what, I'm gonna put my thumb on the scale. You can come and join us. And so he came in, he learned a little bit, and like did a full raid, and we got some triumphs for him and everything too. And he was like, wow, that was fun. It's like, I like those experiences with raids. I
That's
think
always been the fun part
Yeah.
about raiding in Destiny.
is that kind of like that connection of teaching somebody how to do something and then like then when they hop in with something else, with somebody else, they're going to know how to do it, like, or at least some role that you've been taught, and kind of know mechanically what's going on.
With raids and dungeons,
Mhm.
yeah, there's a lot of those experiences with raids, and I feel like you get that a lot more as a content creator. So it's kind of like I would like that more from a
Mhm.
community standpoint. I don't really raid. When I do raid, I make it crazy and insane,
Right.
and
Yeah.
otherwise I don't just casually raid. I don't know raids well enough to actually do helps, things like
Mhm.
that. But so, and I love dungeons. I live in dungeons.
Mhm.
That's pretty much what I do. But when it comes to that, I was so overwhelmed getting 2 dungeons back to back. It
Right.
was too much.
Mhm.
It's too much to have 1 raid and then 2 seasons back to back have dungeons. I think we need that 6 months in between.
Yeah. So the cadence that's coming up with with Frontiers, with Apollo getting a raid, and then I think it's Behemoth. Is that it? Is that the second one? Getting a dungeon. You think that that's a good cadence of content for those in-game activities?
Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it if they had not put the new dungeon
Mm-hmm.
at the start of this episode.
Right.
Had they done it for Act 2, would have been much better.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see why they have to. They're treating dungeons the same that they treat raids, and they've kind of always done that, but that's
Mhm.
because they alternated.
Mm-hmm.
If they do a raid and then, like, 3 months later do a dungeon, and then 6 months later do another dungeon.
Raid.
If they
Yeah.
do it if they do it the second part of the
Mhm.
next, like, what would it be? Winter, spring.
Mhm.
If they do it then instead of at the beginning, I'd be totally fine. But as of right now, I would prefer more raids
Mm-hmm.
just to offset the dungeons. I
Yeah.
wouldn't do the raids as much, but
Right.
it
See,
was it was too much.
I think I said something along the lines in chat that, like, dungeons are easy content to get into because you do only need like a couple of extra people involved. But I also feel like that time also crunches in on itself when you're in a fire team of 3 people doing the dungeons, because everybody typically has something to do. Whereas with raids, sometimes there can be downtime, or like somebody's just doing ad clear, and that doesn't necessarily that kind of stretches time for them because there's not a role for everybody in most raids, if that makes sense.
Right, a few less make or break moments.
Exactly. Yeah, you can have some hero moments, you can have some clutches in that aren't as hectic as maybe like 3-man activities like dungeons. Also raid encounters, raid activities generally have a lower player pool just because of the amount of people that you need for it. So I like having more dungeons and then like a big fat juicy raid at the end of the year or something like that. Like something along those lines would be perfect for me. But I can see the reason behind like doing 1 raid and 1 dungeon, because it frees up resources for them for other things with Apollo and Behemoth, and just hopeful that translates through. The last 2 questions that we have are for our friends here from GMH. Black Zard says, "Do you all need temporary? Do you not all need volunteers? Temporary volunteer work for mental health professionals. They're opening to contributing with their capacity if it's needed. What? How do you guys vet potential partners in that way? And what are the steps for people who are looking to help?"
Back?
Well, I saw that message in chat. They were saying that they have an LFMT,
Mm-hmm.
LFMT degree, and when it comes to mental health professionals, generally, I'll get in contact with them, kind of have a good conversation with them about like background, what their areas of interest are, see how they could fit in, because we're always looking at gaining new sets of eyes
Mm-hmm.
and ideas and perceptions on either vetting resources or exploring new resources, creating new
Yep.
handouts or tools. And we've said it multiple times, me and Joe, that we're not a one-stop shop.
Mm-hmm.
We can't be that, and it's disingenuous for any organization to say that they are that one-stop shop.
Mm-hmm.
But we tend to partner with people that have more of that focused energy on a specific thing. So we see ourselves like that general hub where we
Mm-hmm.
can send people to.
That's great.
Yeah, I was gonna say in my time being in the Discord, we've had plenty of people both with degrees or without degrees, um, just go, hey, by the way, I noticed something was missing
Mm-hmm.
from your resource toolkit. Have you looked into this? And that's just something like that, especially when we started, branching out of the United States for some of our resources. We don't know what all programs are available in Singapore, right? So when someone says, "Hey, there's something like this similar over here, can you look into it?" Then we send our guys in and they go, "Okay, let's look into that. If it's a valuable vetted resource, we add it to the toolkit." So just having that kind of community um, feedback going, "Have you thought about this or have you seen this?" And we'll
Mm-hmm.
go and look, right? We're not just going to put it willy-nilly up there because then you get Dr. Google, did you know that Google told me this? Um, but if there's like a legitimate program that you see we have a lapse in, please bring it to our attention, and then we'll go
Mm-hmm.
look at it.
And that's where growing that mental health professional team
Yep.
is so valuable
Mm-hmm.
that we can kind of say, hey, can you take a look at this? Or they make suggestions so that we know that everything we put out is something that one of us would like provide a client
Mm-hmm.
or something that we've used or we know that is valuable and not just someone in their basement saying, well, I guess I
Right.
can do this too.
So I should stop doing that.
Well, if
Uh,
Dan says it, it must be true. He's on the internet.
Cryo Phoenix
Well,
asks. Oh, go ahead.
oh, you were saying you should be stop doing that. There's this ever growing perception, and I just saw a study. It's on my
Mm-hmm.
list of studies to read, but I just read through the Cliff Notes the other week. It was a study done at UBC, so the University of British Columbia. So yay
Mm-hmm.
for Canadian researchers in terms of what information is available on social media, more
Mm-hmm.
specifically on TikTok. And they took, I think it was 100 videos of the most popular videos on TikTok about ADHD
Mm-hmm.
and asked mental health professionals and just general audiences about which ones were the most valuable or relatable. So, what came out of that study is the people that weren't mental health professionals
Mm-hmm.
rated the people that had no mental health
I remember this.
credentials and low standards and essentially misinformation much higher than the mental health professionals, and the opposite was also true.
Yeah.
So if it was a mental health professional talking on TikTok presenting a video, general population would rate it lower in terms of
And folk.
engagement or
Yeah.
relevancy of information.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the offices of Dunning and Kruger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's wild.
and this is something that is true for all of the sciences,
Mm-hmm.
social sciences, that we're good as practitioners. We are horrible at speaking about the things we know of.
Yeah.
That's why they have me. Frankly, you know.
So that's one thing I think we are trying to do is to provide that science-backed, evidence-based information,
Yeah.
and hopefully
And
people
deliver
engage.
it in not such a clinical way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people lose the weight of the topic if it's too wrapped up in clinical verbiage or vibe. If you talk to a person, a normal person, you know, kind of, I say, dumb it down for me. Like, just think of Joe. Joe's not going to process this. That it'll be a lot easier to deliver to everybody else.
When
Don't use the big words.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
well, half as many big words.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to Google everything.
That's what it's been like when I've so with my new job, I teach classes as part of that. And so learning not to use jargon so much and just like talk to people in like in a conversational way when teaching a class has helped tremendously. So like I can understand that, like, just meeting somebody on their level will help them kind of take the medicine easier. Like in that case.
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
Because it's completely the opposite of what we like learn in therapist school. I wouldn't even want to count how many F-bombs I drop in a day in my office. Because a lot of the clientele that I work with, that's their language.
Hey man, you got to meet them where they are.
The F-bomb, I'll drop it too.
Yeah, got to meet them where they are. The final question of the night comes from Cryo Phoenix. They're talking about the seasonal and episodic model in this way. It's like, so when it comes to mental health versus game integrity, do you believe the seasonal episodic content model is acceptable with its flaws? Example, like fear of missing out being like in brackets there. That's, I don't know. That one's kind of like tough because I don't know about like if that's game integrity. Question, like fear of missing out.
Game design.
Yeah,
it's the newer way of game design. Unfortunately.
Right, between FOMO and gotcha mechanics, you know, this seems to be the way, and not just Bungie, but like the industry as a whole is kind of basing their monetization. And yeah, it sucks from a mental health perspective. Like, you know, and I remember this happening clearly with Destiny for a while. It was just like, when I didn't have the time to play, I was just like, well, why do I keep playing? Because the next time I log in, everyone else I know is going to be so over leveled, I can't even join them, right? And Bungie has fixed that now with the catch up and everything when everyone parties up, and I love that. That was huge because a lot of games are doing, and it's like, why am I playing your game? Or now I'm double grinding, or hey, if you give us $20, we'll just catch you up to your friends.
Right.
Like that could be damaging both mentally and financially to someone who's just trying to have a peer
stay on the
relationship
treadmill.
with their, have a peer relationship with their friends.
Yeah.
Well, I remember a couple of years ago, again, my way of playing games, if it's a collecting game, I have to collect all of the things. And in Destiny, it was that same mentality. So I have to complete everything, gotta get every exotic, gotta get every piece of armor. And as the loot pool grew and my available time diminished, I kind of confronted that. Well, I need to get those things, and you have to kind of self-reflect those. Well, why? And it becomes less about having fun in the game and more so completing or getting all of those little boxes ticked.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you weren't having as much fun.
I will give Bungie some credit in that respect. Is yes, getting these god rolls and getting these exotics does make the game easier, but they're not required. Right. So you don't that FOMO isn't quite as, I don't know, prevalent. It's like, well, I have to do this now because I have to get this weapon, otherwise Dan's not going to raid with me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need that weapon. Is it nice if I have it? Sure. But there's all of these other alternatives that'll get the job done as long as you're not looking to speedrun everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give them credit in that respect. But yeah, a lot of games abuse this.
And so unfortunately, it's kind of not even Destiny. It's a growing trend
Mm-hmm.
in the medium.
It's like some live service. Like live services predicated on it. Like
season passes.
Mhm.
A lot of mobile games.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if you logged into Destiny and you only had 10 lives and that was it?
So it's an arcade
And then-
game.
Right, and then you had to wait next week for your 10 lives to refill
Yeah.
so you could play again.
Or
Like,
you can
that's
pay $20 and get 10 more.
Yeah.
bingo. Like, could you imagine if they did something like that? It would
It would
like-
crater the community and it would kill the
yeah,
game.
a fart in
Yeah.
a spacesuit. Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for your questions, and thank you guys for coming on and hanging out with us tonight. We usually end the night by telling people where they can find us on the internet. So let's go around and let's ask our guests first. Where can we find you guys on the internet?
Well, you can find. Don't worry about my social media. It's you ain't going anywhere. Guardians MH. You can find us on any of the social medias at Guardians MH, or visit our website at guardiansmh.org.
Mm-hmm.
Doc.
Yeah, my social media is pretty much dead, so go on any of the GMH ones. I use mine just to peruse stuff rather than post stuff.
All right.
Although I have ideas of posting stuff, I just never get around to it.
And yeah, I guess we're 3 for 3 here. I'm a little more active on my social media. I'm still over on on the X platform. I'm trying to get into the Blue Sky, but you can find me at both of those at NateFu, N8, not N8 anymore, NATE Foo. And then of course you can find me in Dan's Discord, GMH Discord, probably all the other Discords. If Mod Sherpa's in there, I'm probably in there too.
I was gonna say run, but sure. Sammy, where can they find you on the internet?
I am on twitch.tv/SammyCat. I'm also pretty active on my socials. You can find me at SammyCatPlays on Twitter, and well, I said I'm pretty active. TikTok, and I'm also Sammy Cat on Blue Sky and YouTube. I keep saying I'll get better at that, but I really won't.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think I've been able to find you just searching Sammy Cat, and it gives me one or the other wherever you need to be.
Thank you. Just search Sammy Cat.
Bana,
That
what
is
about
the
you?
easiest I've said it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bana, what about you, bud?
Hi, I'm tired. I'm Boner. It is almost 2 a.m. And you can find me all over the place just for Bonafide Hero. Yeah, on the Twitch whenever I can jump on it and stream, and yeah, try to get here as much as I can. The link's in the thing. So
My name is Danfinity, and you can find me danfinity.gg. I'm gonna forgo the rest of it and say you should check out the Tiltify and pick up the new emblem that benefits Guardian Mental Health. It's $10. It's
There's
called
only 20,000 left.
only 20,000 left, so get them while they last.
that's actually gonna go quick.
Yeah, like it's already hit 5K in 2 days,
That's
or
not
close to 5K in
that's
2
not
days.
A lot left.
Yeah.
It's not a lot left.
Insane. It's awesome.
It's called Love is the Mind Saver. Go and check that out. I don't know what's going on tonight. Anyways, go and check out the campaign. Go drop some money on that. and wear that emblem proudly. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. It means a lot.
Thanks for having us.
And,
No, it means a lot to
yeah.
us. Thank you.
So, that being said, that's everything fit for print. Thanks for coming to episode 96 of the Destiny Digest podcast, and we hope you find what you're grinding for.